This is the Apple iPhone 8, and while it may look a lot like last year's iPhone 7, it offers a body made from new materials, new high-end performance, and an upgraded feature set. All that sounds like it might make the iPhone 8 an easy recommendation, but this year we're looking at the broadest ever lineup of new iOS devices. Does Apple's smallest model risk getting lost in the shuffle? I'm Stephen Shank with PhoneArena, here to tell you what's new, what works, and what still needs improvement as I review the Apple iPhone 8.
Each year, millions upon millions of smartphone fans look forward to the launch of Apple's latest iPhone, ready to upgrade to the company's newest and best hardware. And while that cycle of new hardware tends to arrive in predictable patterns, this year Apple's switching things up by skipping the iPhone 7s entirely, moving right from the 7 to the new iPhone 8. While that numbering skip might have you expecting a bold departure from the iPhone 7, that really couldn't be less the case. Instead, the iPhone 8 largely looks like the iPhone 7, with nearly identical external dimensions and hardware layout. It's ever so slightly larger, and it is a bit heavier, but Apple is clearly comfortable here reusing a design that's proven its worth. What we do see, though, is a change in materials, as Apple swaps out the iPhone 7's metal unibody design for a new glass-backed look. It's attractive enough, even as color options drop down to 3, space gray, gold, and the silver you see here. And even with this new construction, important features like waterproofing remain. But we're still a little nervous about moving back to having so much glass, giving us that much more to worry about scratching, or worse, shattering. Still, the iPhone 8 feels great to carry around, and we absolutely love its compact size. There just aren't that many high-end phones that still manage to keep things so pocket-friendly and convenient, and the iPhone 8 is easily up at the top of 2017's list. Apple keeps screen size unchanged from past entries, giving us another 4.7-inch LCD panel with a 750 by 1334 resolution. While AMOLED panels are coming to the iPhone lineup with the iPhone 10, this model's not quite ready to make that same leap. Even still, the picture here looks great, bright, colorful, and detailed. Screen brightness is just as good this year as it was last year, and while color accuracy isn't quite perfect, it's still very close. New this year is the True Tone feature we first saw debut with last year's iPad Pros, which uses the device's sensors to match screen color temperature to ambient lighting, helping to provide a more natural-looking display experience. It very much works, and depending on your environment, you can easily see colors toggle from warm to cool as you turn True Tone on and off, but it's also probably not a feature that users are going to think too much about. It's neat to have, but ultimately of little consequence. Video playback looks just as nice as we've come to expect from Apple devices, and this year the iPhone 8 is ready to support playback of HDR enhanced content. While the phone's software will try to make those HDR videos look as good as possible on the iPhone 8 screen, unlike the iPhone 10, the panel here isn't full-on HDR rated. Powering the iPhone 8 is Apple's latest processor, the A11 Bionic chip. Built on the same sort of 10nm process as the latest Snapdragon and Exynos chips, this powerhouse gives the iPhone 8 some of the most impressive performance we've ever seen from a smartphone, excelling in both raw number crunching and graphics performance. The other big upgrade for the phone's silicon comes as Apple ditches last year's entry-level 32GB storage option, outfitting the iPhone 8 with a minimum of 64GB capacity. That spells hours of 4K video, thousands of photos, and all the apps you can see fit to download. Especially when combined with Apple's cloud storage options, we bet that many users will be more than satisfied with the storage level offered here, but if you crave even larger buckets of available space, you can upgrade to 256GB for an extra $150. If you're an existing iPhone user, you've probably already upgraded to iOS 11, available out of the box here on the new iPhone 8. The upgrades present extend to all corners of the operating system, from new camera options to a reimagined app store. We could spend an entire review just talking about those, but one change that's really positively affected our impressions of the iPhone 8 is the new Control Center, not only improving the way you access system settings, but also giving users a customizable array of shortcuts to the apps and features of their choice. Connectivity options don't feel that different from what we got on the iPhone 7, but there are a few improvements waiting to be found. Support for Bluetooth 5 won't change the way you use external speakers or connect to your fitness tracker, but it does promise enhanced support for connected Internet of Things systems. And while previous iPhones weren't exactly hurting when it came to GPS support, the iPhone 8 does upgrade its location hardware with support for European and Japanese satellite systems. Once again, the iPhone offers stereo speakers, and while we had questions about balance the first time around, things sound really great on the iPhone 8. Apple claims that output can be up to 25% louder than before, and while our tests didn't really demonstrate that sort of improvement, it's hard to argue with our ears that these speakers are doing a really solid job. No one really expected Apple to back down from its move to kill off the analog headphone jack, and the iPhone 8 lands as another model lacking the versatile port. Apple wisely includes another analog adapter here in the box, but we're still resentful that we need one in the first place. Don't expect any surprises from the Lightning-equipped earpods, which sound just as good with the iPhone 8 as they did last year on the iPhone 7. Though the phone's speakers are good, we ran into some problems with voice calls and audio quality. While we could hear distant parties just fine, our calls were peppered with an intermittent clicking noise emanating from the iPhone's earpiece, and of special concern, we had the same issue with an iPhone 8 Plus. We're hopeful that this may be something that can be corrected in software, as it's a rare aberration from a company that normally places such an emphasis on high-quality user experiences. Like the iPhone 7, the 8 arrives with a 12-megapixel main camera, featuring optical stabilization and an f1.8 aperture. Despite the similar-sounding hardware, there really are a number of improvements present here, including a physically larger image sensor capable of sampling more of that oh-so-important light. The camera also picks up some new high-end video modes, supporting extended frame rates at the phone's highest filming resolutions. As should be no surprise, images taken with the iPhone 8 look incredible. They've got that same very natural feel we're familiar with from iPhone cameras, and that extends even into low-light environments. Eventually, image noise becomes a concern, but you can get a lot out of the iPhone 8's camera before you start running up against that wall. The only real frustration we ran into was with out-of-shot lights bleeding into the frame, but even that wasn't a huge deal. Video performance is also exceptionally strong, with the iPhone 8's camera adjusting to new focal and exposure challenges without batting an eye. The only issue to keep in mind here is that in order to take full advantage of all the new shooting modes, you'll need to trade video format compatibility for Apple's high efficiency option. Finally, we're talking power, and though Apple says that the iPhone 8 should get similar battery life to the iPhone 7, we actually found this year's phone to push endurance a little under an hour further, perhaps a consequence of the new 10nm processor. What's really cool though are the new charging options. If you've got a high output USB Type-C charger, like you might have from one of Apple's laptops, you can use that with a lightning cable to fast charge the iPhone 8. That's probably worth looking into, as without it, recharge times are on the slower end, taking almost 2.5 hours to refuel the phone. And thanks to the new glass back, the iPhone 8 finally supports wireless charging. For a first effort from Apple, at least when it comes to phones, things work really smoothly, and we're quite curious to see if this high-profile push is what wireless charging tech needs to finally start popping up as commonly as you might find publicly available USB power ports already. And don't worry if you plan to equip the iPhone 8 with a case, as wireless charging works right through one, no problem.
In nearly every way, the iPhone 8 is a vastly superior phone to the iPhone 7. Sure, we don't love the glass back, and we still have to figure out what's going on with voice call quality, but for all the most important features, the iPhone 8 absolutely delivers. But for as good as the iPhone 8 is, it's becoming harder and harder to recommend Apple's base-level iPhone, especially as the company keeps offering more and more higher-end options. You go with the iPhone 8 if you want a bigger screen and more camera hardware, but with the iPhone 10 we're in some seriously uncharted territory, and until we put that phone through our review paces, it's going to be difficult to say with much certainty what might be the best new iPhone for you. So wait and see if you want the really complete picture, but if you love the idea of a smaller iPhone, and maybe more importantly, a really familiar feeling one, the iPhone 8 will not disappoint. I'm Stephen Shank with PhoneArena. Thanks for watching, and be sure to subscribe so you don't miss any upcoming reviews, including the iPhone 8 Plus and iPhone 10.